Welcome to Leadership and Management Training, Satellite Country Leadership Institute, Week 16, Recruiting and Hiring, Keys to Long-Term Sales Success. In this module, we will cover recruiting and hiring, the recruiting process, the hiring process, and we'll have a roundtable discussion. It all starts with people. Keys to a sales organization's success. People, training, support, and pay. You gotta find them to interview and hire them. The recruiting process. People. Who are the best salespeople currently on the sales floor? Why? What characteristics do they share? Step 1. Determine staffing requirements. Strategic planning produces targeted staffing requirements based on needs and budget considerations. Sales manager requests number of new agents for floor based on known needs, current staffing, and attrition. Step 2. Develop job requirements. A job candidate must have excellent phone presence, ability to communicate, excellent work ethic, sales experience, computer, and telephone skills. Step 3. Develop and deploy employment ads. Employment ads. Write them, post them, track them, and then refresh them. Evaluate them, and then modify if needed. Once you find them, you gotta hire them. The hiring process. Goals. You will be able to properly plan and prepare for an employment interview. You will be able to direct the interview so maximum pertinent information is obtained. You will be able to provide appropriate information. You will be able to evaluate candidates' qualifications against job requirements. Planning for the interview. Equal employment opportunity considerations. Make your choice now. The importance of the selection interview. Interview styles. Interviewers' self-assessment. How to define job requirements. Equal employment opportunity considerations. They're important. It's the right thing to do. It's the legal thing to do. You cannot consider race, ethnicity, religion, or creed in the hiring process. Under current legislation, it is unlawful to refuse to consider because of race, color, national origin, sex, religion, or physical disability or age. You also cannot show a bias in help wanted advertising for or against based on the above. Nor can you use any screening techniques, for example, paper and pencil tests, questionnaires, that cannot be proved to be directly job related. You cannot categorize candidates based on the above. Make your choice now. Decide who you want on the sales floor. What characteristics do they have? What behaviors? What attitude? What's their commitments and their skill sets? These are all important in the hiring process. The importance of the selection interview. Determines the ability to do the job. Determines if they are anxious to perform well in your organization. Helps us select candidates most likely to be successful. There are several interview styles. The eyeball style. This style assumes you can predict job performance based on appearance, handshake, or something else. The friendly chat style. Unless controlled, misses business purpose of the interview. The Inquisition. This technique places the candidate under stress with severe questioning techniques. The candidate's usual reaction is to withdraw during the interview. The standardized interview is another interview style. Same questions in the same order every time. It is stiff and inflexible. It also limits the candidate's expression of qualifications and personality. Business-like interview. The interviewer with social exchanges with a business purpose. In this interview, worthwhile information is exchanged. It really doesn't begin until the interviewer knows job responsibilities and the kind of person needed to fill the position. Interviewer's self-assessment. Do you have a thorough understanding of the job requirements? Have you established a relaxed environment for the interview? Did you get the candidate to talk? Did you use questions? Did you listen? Did you avoid preconception and personal bias? Did you adhere to EEOC guidelines? Was your decision based on job requirements? How to define job requirements? What does it take to be successful? What skills are required? What knowledge and/or experience is required? What does it take to be successful on the sales floor? Agents have to have a great phone presence. They have to have a great attitude. They must be very likable. They must have the ability to focus on goal-achieving activities. And they must have the skill set required to succeed. Top sales pros characteristics. They have a professional attitude. They have strong self-esteem, high ego strength. They have excellent phone presence. They're very likable, and they have the ability to communicate. Top sales pros also have character. They have overall chemistry. They have good work ethic. They're coachable. They're persistent, and they're wired for sales. Position requirements. They must have a good attitude. You must have a clear, understandable voice and have a great phone presence. You must be likable. You must be a reader. You must be computer literate. Satellite country interview structure. A group interview saves time. In the group interview, share the opportunity, who we are, hours, shifts, pay, and our model. Give a group tour. That also saves time. Then do individual interviews. Conducting a quality interview. Gaining the applicant's cooperation and confidence. How to gather job-related data from applicants. Questions that yield pertinent information. Use probing questions in interviewing. Practicing with questions. Gaining the applicant's cooperation and confidence. Be prepared and on time for the interview. Be consistent with your tone. Be cordial. Stay in control. How to gather job-related data from applicants. Ask open-ended questions that aren't leading or suggest a particular answer. Use short questions. In what sense? How so? Listen carefully. Take notes. Probe for their range of expertise. Stimulate value judgments. How do you feel about punctuality? How do you conduct yourself on the job? Are you personally committed to a task? Probe choice points or why they select a particular course of action. Use silence to your advantage. Use reflective statements. When the applicant says, "I was pretty excited about the job," you should mirror back to them, "You were excited about the job?" When the applicant says, I went to school for 6 months to qualify, you should mirror the applicant and say 6 months. Ask open-ended questions that start with how. Use directive questions. If hired, when can you start? Or, what was your salary at your last job? Clarify. What do you mean by? Or have a neutral response such as uh-huh, or even silence for 5 to 10 seconds. Expanding uh-huh with what do you mean by? Repeat the question until you get a response. Areas to explore. Previous employment. College, university, or other educational background. Their interest in the position. Any unique qualifications they have, and their personal goals. General principles. How to evaluate candidates objectively. Comparison of candidates to position requirements. General principles. Be hypocritical. Very important decision. Base your evaluation on facts. Concentrate on behavior, not words alone. Seek confirmation of your evaluation. What's their experience? Level of responsibility previously held. What's their skills and knowledge? What are their strengths? Weaknesses? Are they stable and making progress? What's their compatibility with your team? Do they have the chemistry? Are they dependable? Productive? What's their attitude toward work, co-workers, supervision, and customers? Attitude. Do they have a good attitude? Do they have a clear, understandable voice and a great phone presence? Are they likable? Are they a reader? Are they computer literate? Discussion. What does it take to conduct a successful interview? How can we find better salespeople? What's next? SLI continues on a weekly basis. SLI sessions are recorded and can be listened to or viewed more than once. Do your homework. See you next week, and thank you.